So people who suffer from STO or stress tension overload syndrome, they do not only have problems with very, very tense muscles and trigger points in the muscles, they also have problems with stress and other relating difficulties or issues. So the trigger point part is solved with massage, but we also want to attack the other problems if we can. And there are 4 other problems which I would like to bring up now, which STO, people with the STO condition usually suffer from. So those 4 are stress, it's shallow breathing, it's bad sleep quality, and then it's pain. So the first one, stress. If you are stressed, your muscles are in a overly tense state. So when you are stressed, your muscles will tend to build up trigger points. So we need to reduce the stress if we can. Then there's the second problem, which is shallow breathing or breathing with your chest. And specifically, this is a problem because when you're breathing with your chest, the way to inhale, or the way that the body inhales when you're breathing with your chest, is to use all these muscles up here to pull your chest upwards. And those muscles, or these muscles, happen to be exactly those muscles that we are trying to relax. So 10 times every single minute you are overstraining the muscles that are building or are essentially causing your trouble, your condition. So it's so important to focus on breathing. In fact, you can probably reduce the time to get better by half if you just stop breathing with your chest. Then we have the third problem, or the third condition, which is a poor quality of sleep, or for some people, barely sleeping at all. And when you're not sleeping, your muscles do not get the time to regenerate. So it's as simple as that. So we need to get you to sleep again. And then we have the fourth problem, which is pain. And there are really two parts of this one. The first one is that it's been discovered that people who are stressed are more sensitive to pain. And as we all know, being sensitive to pain is part of this vicious circle. And then there's another pain-related problem, which is that when you have chronic pain, you do not get used to it. You would think that you would get used to it, and then in the end you wouldn't really care, but that's actually not the way it works. When you are in permanent or constant pain, you tend to focus a lot on this, and whether you know it or not, your mind is trying to solve this pain problem. And the more the mind tries to solve this pain problem, the more an expert it becomes at finding pain, and in the end, your mind, in fact, the part of your brain which takes in pain signals will grow. This has been proven or shown in brain scans. And when it grows, you will become sensitive to pain in areas that you did not even register before. So it's kind of like you become your brain becomes a pain receiving expert. So it becomes very, very sensitive. So those are the four main problems that meditation can help solve. All right, so what is meditation? Well, to put it very briefly, meditation is you choose to focus on a focus point, and then when your mind starts wandering, or when you have some associations or a train of thoughts, you cut over the thought process and you return to the focus point. That is meditation, very briefly. So the focus point can be anything really that you decide it to be. It should be a very simple focus point. And some popular or often used focus points can be your breath. It can be a sensation in your body, which is usually used in the meditation called body scan. It could also be sounds. And in fact, in the Curalistic program that I recommend, we use these 3 kinds of meditations as a daily practice. So meditation is focusing on something, allowing your mind to wander off, and when you realize it's done that, you return to your focus point. So an example of a meditation could be, let's assume that I decide for today my focus point will be my right foot. So I will close my eyes. It's easier with your eyes closed. I will close my eyes and I will focus on my foot. And what happens instantly is that I get an image of my foot, and then I might get an association to a shoe. And when I get an association to a shoe, I'm thinking about a sports shoe, then I'm thinking about sports, then I'm thinking about baseball, all of a sudden I'm thinking about Michael Jordan, and I'm thinking about being in the US. And all of a sudden my mind has wandered away from my foot into a picture of me being in, let's say, New York, for example. So this might be a completely neutral place it's taken me, but when you're meditating and when you realize that you're no longer focusing on your foot, you leave your New York trip and then you return to your foot. So meditation is extremely easy. Everybody can do it. So sometimes your train of thoughts or your row of associations will be very brief, might only be 2 or 3 seconds before you return to your focus point, and sometimes it will be very long. If you are drowsy, if you're a little bit tired, then it will tend to be a very long one, maybe a couple of minutes even, but that's not a problem. So that is essentially meditation. So how can meditation, this rather simple thought exercise, how can that really solve those 4 problems? Well, let's take stress first. When you meditate, something happens in your brain. You become aware, firstly you become aware of these thoughts. So when you many people before they meditate, they don't even know that they have this automatic voice inside their head. And they are not even aware that they are voluntarily taken into situations which might be very bad for them. So many with STO, they are not dragged off to a trip to New York. They are dragged off into thinking about this horrible condition that they have. They will tend to be spiraled into worrying thoughts. They will tend to be spiraled into depressed thoughts. They will tend to be spiraled into anxious thoughts and so on. So when you meditate, you become aware of how your mind does that. And when you have become aware of it, you will also, because in meditation you are cutting over these thought processes, you will become better at stopping these thought processes. And in the end, when you've been practicing meditation for a long time, you will not even get into these negative thoughts. So one benefit of meditation is that you are able to control your thoughts. So you allow your mind to think about what you think it should think about. And you will say to yourself, well, all of these negative thoughts, they contribute nothing to me, so I'm just not going to think about them. So that is a huge power for any person or any individual to be in control of your thoughts. And this control of your thoughts will reduce your stress, because you are no longer taken into stressful, nervous thoughts. And it will also allow you to sleep much better. So it will reduce your stress, which reduces trigger points, which reduces pain, which improves your overall health. It will also make you sleep better because you're less stressed, and also because many of the negative or anxious thoughts that actually keep you awake, you will be able to cut them away. You'll say, I do not want to think about this right now. I'm just focusing on my foot. And most people will then fall asleep within a minute. So how can meditation help you breathe with your stomach again? Well, it's not so much the meditation itself that helps you breathe with your stomach, but rather because you do a meditational exercise where we focus on breathing with your stomach. So you practice breathing with your stomach during meditation, and then when you are not meditating, you become more aware of whether you are breathing with your chest or your stomach, and slowly it will become more of a habit for you to breathe with your stomach. And that means that you're releasing all of these muscles up here, and they start to relax because they're not pulling up your chest 10 times a minute. And then when they relax, they do not build up as many trigger points, and your pain will go down and so on. So the fourth problem, this pain oversensitivity, and this problem with your brain becoming obsessed with pain. How can meditation help with that? Well, the first part being very sensitive to pain. Meditation will help you because you will be less stressed. So when you're less stressed, you will be less receptive to pain. And the other part, which is reducing this part of the brain which has become which has become a pain expert and which has become too good at detecting even mild pain and amplifying it. How can meditation help that? Well, one, and this is mindfulness meditation. So what it can do, and there's been studies to prove these things. What it will do is, imagine if you are observing a tennis match, and you have two personalities. One is observing this tennis match and is analyzing everything that happens. He is analyzing the way the racket is being swung. He's analyzing the strategy of the game. He's analyzing how the two opponents are reading each other. He's considering what would have happened if this has happened and that had happened. He is playing out different situations in his mind and really getting involved and getting into this game. And then there's the other one, and the only thing that happens in his mind is the ball is going this way, the ball is going that way, the ball is going this way, the ball is going that way, the ball is going this way, the ball is going that way. So my question now to you is, whose part of the brain do you think becomes more perfectioned in picking up the small subtleties of the game of tennis? Well, obviously the first one. So when you meditate, there is a particular part of mindfulness meditation where you are observing your pain instead of analyzing it. But even if you do not want to meditate on your pain, if you're just doing simple meditation, you will stop analyzing your pain, and not only will this happen while you're meditating, but you will stop analyzing your pain because when you're not meditating, because you become aware of this pain analyzing behavior. And when you stop analyzing your pain and just observe it, then your brain becomes less obsessed with pain, and this part of your brain which has become a pain expert will slowly start to decrease. So that is probably the best explanation I can give you in terms of how meditation can help you reduce your perception of pain. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it useful, please share it with other people who need it. For daily video updates, please like my page on Facebook, Curalistic.com, or visit my website www.curalistic.com. If you've got any questions, please add me on Facebook, Gustav Grundsø. Thank you.